behind all of this, it is actually a call for humility on our part, for us to realize that as we try our best to come close and have this relationship with God, people outside, other people of other faith, they might also be doing their best to come into a relationship with God and to know God. And we should respect and embrace that. Now, the second point that we need to take note and reflect on is that we then cannot be an obstruction for other people to come to God. And Jesus, in the Gospel today, He put it in quite strong words and warned us against obstructing other people from coming to God. And He said this, "But anyone who is an obstacle to bring down one of these little ones who have faith would be better thrown into the sea with a great millstone round his neck." So Jesus was very, very strong and stern about this also. He's basically saying that we have to be very careful not to prevent other people from attempting or trying to come to Him. And there might be two major ways for us preventing other people from coming to God. The first one is what I've been sharing in the first point, that we feel that we have an exclusivity of God, and therefore we do not want all people to come and share this grace and presence of God. We build boundaries and we say that if you're out of this, you do not have the right to come to God. Okay, so this might be one way. But the second way, it is actually through our bad examples, sometimes scandals. Now, I'm sure all of us are aware of this, that all of us here come to church. We have so many brothers and sisters in the church, but there exist among us hypocrites. There are snobs. There are people who actually also have scandals even while they are members of the church. And these are the people that also prevent people from coming to God. But also, we also see from the church itself, every now and then, there are some big and small scandals. The sexual abuse, the many things that sometimes we see of stories of priests abusing their power, corruption, so on and so forth. All these things do exist in the church, and they prevent other people from experiencing God because of all these negative experiences. But bringing back to ourselves, the question to ask is that, am I also contributing to people not wanting to come to an experience of God? Or am I helping in breaking down such negative views of other people? St. James, in the second reading, warned us against certain actions. Now, he was targeting the wealthy at that time, but I think what his words are just as important and inspiring for each and every one of us. And he said this, "On earth you have had a life of comfort and luxury. In the time of slaughter you went on eating to your heart's content. It was you who condemned the innocent and killed them." So he was saying that a lot of the people who claim to be people of God, but they were doing a lot of things. They were being very selfish. They were harming other people. They were stopping other people from an experience of God. And therefore, St. James was strongly warning the people against that. And therefore, let us put this warning on ourselves. Are we also doing certain things like that and preventing people from coming to God? Now, as I said, today is also the church is celebrating Migrant and Refugee Sunday. And therefore, perhaps it's good to tie this good opportunity to tie this reflection on the reflection of migrants and refugees also. In our Christian practice, we have to ask ourselves, are we being more open to sharing God with our brothers and sisters who might be different from us. So for in this case, are we sharing God with our migrant brothers and sisters? Are we being more and more close up and feeling that God is just for us and not for all those people out there? Or are we inviting other people to an experience of God so that they can also understand the beauty and the love that God has for them? The Pope has for a long time since his papacy told us that we have to go out to the streets to proclaim God's love and to share His mercy. So he's trying to tell us and reminds us that our faith is not just here. Our faith is out there where we encounter people of different race and different backgrounds and all kinds, and we have to go out and to share God to them. But this year's theme of Migrant and Refugee Sunday is God walks with His people. And the Pope reminds us even more by saying this: every encounter along the way represents an opportunity to meet the Lord. It is an occasion charged with salvation because Jesus is present in the sister or brother in need of our help. So what he's trying to say is that in all this encounter with our brothers and sisters, because here he's saying our migrant brothers and sisters, we can actually have an encounter of Jesus. But we turn around, it is also a challenge for us to say that in an encounter of our migrant brothers and sisters with us, they actually should have the opportunity to experience Jesus and experience God through us. Therefore, when a stranger comes into our midst, are we welcoming them or are we pushing them away from God? Therefore, today, let us just bring these reflections strongly into back home, bring into our faith and ask ourselves, are we welcoming or are we pushing people away? And let us remember these 2 points. We don't have the exclusivity of God, and we should never obstruct or hinder others from experiencing God. Let us always be a bridge for other people to come closer to God.